narcissist who never finishes. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Just my little joke there to cause you to think, he hasn't finished this video. Point taken, H.G. Well, as you know, as the provider of unrivaled, accurate information about narcissism and psychopathy, your glorious narrator always delivers and finishes the video. What is it about the narcissist that never finishes? Your mind perhaps might have dropped into the gutter, where you've thought about, well, I wouldn't mind a narcissist who never finishes. Ordinarily, he finishes all too quickly. No, I'm not talking about that, you scoundrel. You might be thinking perhaps about that builder who started that extension and has never got around to finishing it. Well, that might be a narcissist indeed. Or it's just the case that they are particularly lazy. But what is it about the fact that many narcissists don't finish things? That they don't finish a relationship properly. It's on, it's off, it's started again. Is it on? Is it off? What's its status? The narcissist doesn't deliver in relation to a project. The narcissist doesn't turn up when they say that they will do. The narcissist embarks upon writing something and then doesn't conclude it. Whatever it might be, there are many instances whereby the narcissist doesn't finish something. In some instances, it might take place in a professional capacity, leading to legal ramifications. In other instances, it's something personal that causes consternation and annoyance. But what is it about so many narcissists that causes them to not finish what they are doing? Well, the answer to that, if you find yourself dealing with someone who regularly never brings matters to a conclusion, is to understand the nature of the narcissist and the narcissistic dynamic. First of all, the narcissist operates with a sense of entitlement. If you will, the narcissist has been created with this. It's been bolted on as part of their skill set, which means the narcissist does what they please, doing certain things, not doing certain things, and not seeing necessity of ending things because of that sense of entitlement. The narcissist has no sense of accountability, whereas you might think, well, I've started this, so I'll have to finish it, or I'm obligated to get this done because I made a promise to somebody. The narcissist is not affected in the way that you are. Lacking guilt or conscience or remorse, the narcissist is not pricked by a sensation of, I ought to do this and see it to a conclusion. Having no emotional empathy also means that the narcissist doesn't care that somebody might be affected by their failure to see something through to a conclusion. Thus, those three aspects of the narcissist's skill set cater to the failure to see a matter to a conclusion. But there is more to it than that. As it is with any interaction that takes place with the narcissist and somebody else, it is of course governed by the prime aims. And the narcissism operates in such a way as to prefer efficiency. Let us imagine, if you will, that the scenario is at the start of each day, the narcissism has 200 narcissist points. It has to spend those during the course of the day and mustn't use them all up. Therefore, it's going to operate with economy. If it's got an option available to it to do A, which costs, say, 50 points, or B, which costs 2 points, it will choose B, so long as A or B both get to the same outcome, i.e., the prime aims. Accordingly, in the same way, if you need a pint of milk, you will most likely go to your nearest convenience store. What you won't do is drive to your airport, get on a plane, fly to another continent, catch a taxi at the other end, go to a supermarket, buy the milk, and do the journey in reverse. That would be an excessive waste of time, money, and energy just to get a pint of milk, which could easily be bought from a convenience store. Narcissism operates in a similar way. It wants to get whichever aspect of the prime aims is being sought with the minimum of effort the minimum of expenditure of resource, the minimum of outlay. And therefore, if the narcissism can achieve the relevant aspects of the prime aims by only doing so much, that is what happens. Accordingly, if the narcissist can obtain control and fuel by starting doing something for somebody, thus it brings them under control and their response provides fuel, then there's no need to actually see it through to conclusion. Because in that particular moment, and remember the narcissist operates in the moment, control and fuel have been achieved. There might also, for instance, be a residual benefit in that that person has already paid up front. Thus, not pricked by conscience, not feeling a sense of obligation, not feeling obligated to complete the job, having no emotional empathy for how the other person is affected and operating with a sense of entitlement, this all drives the narcissist to gain what they require and then walk off. Yes, there may well be collateral consequences. A friend is upset that you didn't turn up when you said you would do. That customer complains. But remember, those are collateral consequences, which the narcissist has no regard for, where they're lesser or mid-range, in the moment. Accordingly, time and time again, the narcissist will say they will do something and not do it. Why? Because saying it achieves what's required. Therefore, why do it? Remember, lacking a sense of obligation and operating with a sense of entitlement and having no emotional empathy, there's nothing to be gained by doing it that cannot already be obtained by saying it. Or the narcissist starts something and doesn't finish it because they've already obtained what they need from the starting of the project or activity. They don't need to see it through to a conclusion. Yes, from your perspective, it would be much more effective to conclude it. But remember, you're not looking at it through the lens of the narcissist. The narcissist is driven by the pursuit of the prime aims. Now, there are certain narcissists that regularly conclude things because their narcissism deems that it is appropriate to do so. And so it's not the case that every lesser and mid-range narcissist is entirely flaky, but they often are. And you'll see this time and time again, and it is simply a consequence of their narcissism, which says, you can achieve this without having to go the whole 9 yards, so that's what we're going to do. We need control. We can either gain control by saying that we're going to marry this person or marrying them. Well, marrying them means spending money and organising, but getting control in this particular moment by just talking about the fact that we'd like to marry them, that's far more effective in terms of efficiency. So let's do that. Let's talk about the fact that we'd love to have children with this person, or that, yes, I can't wait to come to your birthday party, whatever it might be. This is a failure to complete, which segues into the concept of future faking, using a future event for the control in the now. But a combination of those factors and, of course, certain narcissists are inherently lazy, means that the actual outcome is that the narcissist never finishes anything because he's already got what he requires, the prime aims. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.